What's up, everybody? Welcome to a new video. Yes, you are seeing this video right. We're going to be talking about getting daily sales on Redbubble. Here's what I did. If you guys want to make money on Redbubble, if you want to get a sale every single day, and you feel like that would be fulfilling to you, it would be motivating, and it would give you the good push that you need to keep going forward within Redbubble and maybe hopefully get 50 sales a day, 100 sales a day, 10 sales a day even. I'm just sharing what I did. I'm not saying what you have to do. I know there's certain circumstances for different people, so I'll just be sharing what I did. All right, so let's go ahead and jump right in. So let's break down the numbers. I wanted a sale at least every day, but that wasn't my goal at first. In fact, that was when I was at my lowest point in Redbubble. When I started, I got lucky. I had Q4 advantage. And this is kind of, I guess you could say, a little problem that a lot of people have when they first start, as well as they tend to start during Q4 as well. Now, that might not be true for everybody, like I said, but for me, I started during Q4. You can go ahead and see here my first month was December on this specific account, and this was my first account. That I took seriously, of course. I had other accounts before this, but it was a joke. It wasn't something that I took seriously at all. And when I first started, like I said, I got lucky. I had Q4 advantage. So I took some designs from other platforms that I was doing and just slapped them on Redbubble and see what would happen. And I got over $300 my first month. Like I said, this is just pure luck for me. With that being said, I thought it was going to be easy. It wasn't. I was jaded. I was fooled by my own luck, let's say that. And that's kind of one of the biggest things that I, not regret, but I've learned from now, is that no matter how easy it is for you right now, doesn't mean it's going to be easy forever. So strike the iron while it's hot. And that's kind of one of the biggest lessons I've learned, and Redbubble has really taught me life lessons, not even just in business, but just in life in general, is when something's going easy, be thankful for it and use it when it's easy, because it might not be easy forever. But as you guys know, I was immature, and I squandered my opportunity. You know, it was going well, it was going easy, and I just left it. I got lazy, and laziness is one of the worst things that can happen to somebody. It really doesn't happen to people. I mean, let's be honest. I did it to myself. I mean, I got to take full accountability for my actions, and I did it to myself. I was lazy. I wasn't consistent. I didn't get up at the right time. I didn't do the work I was supposed to be doing. And there's a few reasons for that. I wasn't in the right mental spot, whatever, but there was no excuse. There was no excuse. I was lazy, period. And I didn't upload anything for a long time. I didn't even pay attention to the platform. And I got even luckier the next month where I started making even more money. And that's because I was using the Instagram promotion. I really didn't know anything about titling. I didn't know anything about tagging. I had zero skills when it came down to Redbubble. I didn't know anything about the algorithm. I didn't know anything, period. Point blank, period. I thought I did because I was making money, but that really does not mean anything. Now I look at that 300 and a little bit more the next time, which was like about 400 something, and I look at it and I say that's peanuts now. It's nothing compared to what we do now. So at this point, like I said, I really didn't know anything about the skills behind Redbubble, and the sales that I was getting, it was getting boosted because of the Instagram marketing that I was doing. And I was skilled in Instagram marketing because I have been doing it for a very, very long time before then. And so that was kind of, my forte, and it was very, very easy to me. But like I said, in terms of Redbubble, I didn't really know much. At this point, the next month, like I said, was getting slightly better. Then the rest kept going downhill. And I had that... It's kind of like essentially a fallacy that was in me, I believed, which was a complete, fallacy, like I said. I believed that, next month would get better. Next month would get better. Just like gamblers. You guys know when a gambler goes to the casino and wins the very first time, he's screwed for life because he thinks he's going to win the rest of the time. And that's not what happens. Obviously, the house always wins. So, in terms of, gambling, it was just like Redbubble for me, is that since I thought I won, based on my perspective in the beginning, not really knowing anything, I kind of it really squandered my opportunity in the future. And as you could see, the numbers just went downhill, 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 downhill. And that's where I thought, I had my lowest month ever, and it was in June. And this was by far the lowest month. I mean, this was infinitesimal. I mean, almost nothing in terms of income. And I thought, okay, things have to change here. And I figured, what can I do? And I thought at this point I was being shadow banned. I was being, something negative was happening to my account where I was being targeted. But the reality is, and something that I noticed this is, when something doesn't go our way, we tend to think things like this that don't even happen or don't exist. So for me personally, when my numbers went down, I was thinking something happened bad to my account. Somebody's stealing my designs, or I was getting banned, or, basically where I wasn't taking full responsibility for what was going on. I was just making excuses for myself. And at this point, like I said, I was blinded. But like I like to do, I like to go into monk mode. And I talk about this a lot, and I've spoken about this, well, not a lot, maybe a few times. I've spoken about this before, but for me, it's where I sit down for a very, very long period of time. It could be a month. Obviously, I'm not sitting down the whole entire month, but you guys get what I'm saying. I make a task my primary focus for a very long time. It could be a month, it could be 2 months, it could be 3 months, whatever. In fact, in the very beginning of my business, I went monk mode for about 8 months, figuring out how to do the clothing business, where we source products from overseas, bring them here to the United States, alter them, things like that, and sell them. With that being said, that was kind of like monk mode for me. And I always attribute to monk mode as like the path of enlightenment, where I just sit down and I focus on what I have to do with no outside distractions. And it's very difficult to do sometimes, especially in the world we live in, because of social media, because of cell phones and things like that. But that's where things started to change. And that's where I learned the most. And I had to, I had basically changed my the way I look at things. So 60 days after that is when I started getting multiple sales every single day. And I broke down the elements of Redbubble success. I wrote here of Redbubble. That doesn't make sense, but of Redbubble success. So let's go ahead and talk about what those elements actually are. For me, it was uploading quantity. I noticed right away that the more quantity I uploaded, even if the designs weren't amazing at first, they were going to get better. It was leading the way for everything else. And this is why I label this first. Over every single thing, I label this first, specifically because the quantity, the more you do something, the better you get. And you guys know, when you upload, you're not just uploading an image, you're uploading a design that you worked hard to create, you're uploading a title, you're uploading tags, you're uploading all these different things. You're learning how to optimize your designs for a specific product. And in that process of uploading, you're learning a lot. You're learning more than anybody could really explain to you or show you through a course or something like that. So I was uploading a lot, and the uploading quantity increased. This is when I started to learn about the rules of Redbubble, right? The rules behind the tagging, behind the titling, which we'll get to that in a minute. But uploading speed and efficiency. So at this point, I didn't want to just upload 5, 10, 20 a day. I wanted to see, okay, what can I do? What system can I create to where I'm uploading, not only uploading, but designing quickly and uploading it quickly, because speed and efficiency is one of the core tenets of print on demand. You guys know that in order for us to get massive amounts of sales, we need mass scale. And the only way as one person sitting behind a computer screen that we can do mass scale is we have to have systems and we have to have strategies. And I've shared that in the Autopilot Passive Income Design course, autopilotpassiveincome.com. The design course, I've shown that strategy. I've shown how to get that strategy down, and basically I kind of perfected it. And I've done it to where a system where not only am I going quickly, but I take out the niche research aspect of it, where I'm not doing niche research for every single design. And that's kind of one of the killers. Is I get a lot of people saying, how on earth can I create X amount of designs per day, title them, tag them, and on top of that, do niche research for every single one a day? It's unrealistic. Well, yeah, it is unrealistic if you're spending an hour a day for each of these designs. But what if you spent an hour doing everything? The titling, the tagging, creating 60 designs, the niche, everything. Well, that's a different, aspect. So I went ahead and shared that in the POD design course specifically without niche research. So if you want to, check this course out, obviously we update the curriculum. I'm going to be doing an update very, very soon. The latest update was the graphics that I promised. We uploaded about half of those graphics up, and there's going to be more graphics coming soon. I know I promised 64 graphics. We're going to have more than 64 graphics up there, way more. So there's a whole, members area, the free fonts, the courses, everything in there. Go ahead and check it out if you're interested. I'll leave the link in the description box or in the comments down below, okay? The next part was the uploading skill. So I said this before, but the more you upload, you start thinking to yourself, how can I make this title better? If I make this title better, what is going to happen? What is going to be the result, right? And that's something I went over in the tagging course. So in the tagging course, something I learned was, and this is the tagging course here, you can click on Redbubble tagging course. Also, it's on autopilotpassiveincome.com. Something that I would talk about is when you're doing tagging, when you're doing titling, what is it like if you try to improve on it? First of all, how can you improve on it? How can you make sure that your titles and your tags, you show up for the competitive designs that are getting more sales so that you can get sales? How can you essentially beat the competition? More importantly, how do you know what titles and what tags are good for your products? Well, we break them down. We break down the purpose of the title, right? What can the title do for you, right? Because it's not somebody clicking on your design on Redbubble. That's not what the title does for you. A lot of people think that, but that's not the case. But tagging also, what can tagging, like if you have the right tags, what can that potentially do for you? Yes, more traffic, but in what way? How do people end up seeing your product? Things like that. So we learned about, or what I learned about specifically is, as I was uploading, I asked myself, hold up. What is the purpose of me titling this a certain way or me using these certain tags? I'm not a robot. I can't just keep creating and have nothing win for me. I got to figure out why that is. And so I started doing that. And before I started really uploading a lot, because I started uploading a lot and then I stopped. And I said, wait a minute, before I just keep uploading and I keep working hard, let me try to work smart and figure out what can I do to make sure that everything that I'm uploading is valuable and I'm actually competing for. So what I would do after that is every design I would upload in the future is I would go back and see where it ranks. And I would write down on my notebook a certain strategy behind how it would rank, and I would say, okay, well, this design had this strategy, this design had the B strategy, right? And I would compare A-B strategies, and I would say, okay, B tends to be more successful. Let's go ahead and go with B, and let's figure out why is B more successful. And I would try different things. And like I said, all of that information I've shared in the tagging course. Basically, everything I know around Redbubble are things that I share in the tagging course or the POD design course for Redbubble. So that's there. And like I said, if you want to check that out, $39.99 for each course. They will be in the links in the comments below. The next part I've really discovered was willpower, determination, and tenacity. I know this gets overlooked in the print-on-demand community. A lot of people talk about it's only about designing, it's only about skill, it's only about tagging, titling, all that, and that's all great. But at the end of the day, I feel like, that's all that stuff is a vehicle. If you don't put gas in the vehicle, you can't go anywhere. And I think our willpower, determination, and tenacity is that gas. It's the thing that moves us forward. If I don't have willpower, on the days where I just simply don't want to work, or I'm tired, or I'm burnt out, I'm not going to be able to go anywhere. Same thing with determination and tenacity, right? That willpower, that determination where, no matter what happens each and every day to get up and keep going, right? Regardless if I make $100, if I make $0, doesn't matter. I have to keep going and keep pushing forward on Redbubble if this is something I truly want to get better at. And that's something I did. And tenacity is just having that dog in you, just to keep pushing forward, that beast that just won't be stopped. And I remember these three words: willpower, determination, tenacity. They're all important. They're all kinds of ways. And like I said, I'm not trying to be corny or too deep in this video, but one of the most important aspects, if you ask me, because there's a lot of people who they have all the necessary skills to learn about titling. They have all the necessary skills to learn about tagging, designing. Maybe they're artists and they're talented, but they just don't have that motivation to push. And I believe that motivation is temporary. So you really can't you rely on motivation. It comes and goes. And that's why I stick to these three: willpower, determination, tenacity, right? These are things that you can control, right? So if you're tired that morning and you can't upload for whatever reason, like if you say you can't upload because you're tired, well, that's where willpower kicks in. That's where determination kicks in. That's where tenacity kicks in. So that's all it is. The next one is third-party marketing. So at this point, I was only really focused on Instagram because I was doing very, very well with it, which is another like kind of failure that I had. And I'll just show you guys what I'm talking about. Is that you can improve your sales dramatically if you use multiple social medias. And I started learning this when I started jumping on Pinterest. Right, I told you guys a few months ago I was doing Pinterest, and that's been going extremely well. And in the future, I'm going to start working on YouTube, and I'm actually going to be featuring this in the new YouTube channel. So I'll just go ahead and show you guys what I'm talking about. If you go to YouTube and you type in, let's just go ahead and wait for this to load. Let's give it a second. DIY income tutorials. If you type that in, there's a channel right here. I'm going to start featuring this stuff on my channel, on the new channel. And this is a smaller channel. The reason why I'm doing that is because the smaller channel is where I can put the longer videos, right? Like yesterday, not yesterday. Was it yesterday? I don't even know. We had a 56-minute video of me designing stuff for St. Patrick's Day. The day before that, we had a 27-minute video. The day before that, 25-minute video. So I just figured I'd share that kind of stuff on this channel. So if you want to see that, if you want to see me do Pinterest behind the scenes, YouTube behind the scenes, when I say behind the scenes for YouTube, I'm talking about creating a YouTube channel to promote the Redbubble store. Does that make sense? So before, and I've shared this already, but before I used to do only Instagram. And I thought because I was good at it, I would stick to it. And like I said, that was a mistake. What if something happens with Instagram a month down the line, a year down the line? What, am I cut out of all my sales? The answer is no. We have to diversify. And so that was kind of my I didn't have that mentality at the time, but I always think about that now. And like I said, this one is not incredibly necessary, but in terms of using YouTube and Twitter and Pinterest and things like that. But for me, I used Instagram, and it was a dramatic help. And from an algorithmic standpoint, if you guys just bear with me, I'll explain this for just a second, is that when you create a product, let's say you create a orange t-shirt, like with an orange on it. Well, what happens is since the word orange is so saturated, you're not going to end up on page 1 right away. You're going to end up on page 50, 40, 60, whatever the number is. But if you take that product and you start promoting it outside and you actually force it to get a sale, right? When I say outside, let's just use Instagram, for example. You force that product to get a sale. Well, what happens is it's not on page 40 anymore. It's in the ranking with all the other products that also got one sale. So now you might be on page, let's say 4. Well, what happens if you keep promoting it? Now you're on page 1, let's say, where you get 2 or 3 or 4 sales, right? And then you keep moving up the ranking, up the ranking, up the ranking. And that's one of the things that controls ranking. There's a few other things that control ranking. It will be just too much in this video for me to talk about, but that's just one of the things that I'm talking about here when I talk about Instagram, the benefits of the third-party marketing, where you market your products off party. And one of those also, outside of social media, you can jump on a blog. So if you have a website, like a blog, you can, like for example, if you have a blog if you sell motivational products, so if you have like quotes on your designs that are motivational, like keep going or push forward or something like that, you can create a blog all around motivation, self-help, things like that. And you can post your products for sale on that blog. And since people are already interested in that kind of stuff, there's a high likelihood that they have a higher chance of purchasing versus you promoting that product to random people on the streets or something like that, right? The next thing I started getting better at, and I started to really focus on, was designing my skill design. Or designing skill. I started to really get better at this because I realized that there's always a better process to designing. Now, I have shared this in the design course. I call it my 3-element system to make better designs. I have shared that. And basically what I did was, a lot of the times I get confused and I get hung up. And really what that is paralysis by analysis. I create a design and I get paralyzed, and I think, oh my god, should I fix this? Should I do this? Should I add this? Should I remove this? Does it have to look like this? And the reality is when we ask ourselves that question, we get that paralysis by analysis, we start to slow down dramatically, which is against one of the core tenets of speed and efficiency. And I've spoken about this before, but one of the core tenets is speed and efficiency in terms of success on print on demand. Why? Because we're only one human being, and we need a lot of speed, we need a lot of efficiency so we can produce at mass, at scale. And we can't do that unless we're actually, putting out things quickly. So for me, in terms of designing skill, what I said, I said I needed a system. The same way I had a system for titling, the same way I had a system for tagging, the same way I had a system for everything else, the same way I had a system for creating my designs every single day, I need to have a system. And for me, I sat down and I said, okay, in terms of the quality of my design, I need to have a system. What's going to be that system? And like I said, I shared that system in the POD design course. If that's something you're interested in, it's called my 3-element system or 3-step system to create designs. And I don't go beyond that because I don't want to be paralyzed. Like I said, I don't want to spend more time on a design than I shouldn't have to. Okay. And then lastly, doubling down on what works. So this was something that I've known my whole life in terms of business. After I started making, a few dollars, but I use the same strategy for Redbubble, right? If there's a product that I'm creating that for some reason people are gravitating to, even if I don't know what that reason is, but I see the sales anyway, do more of it. Do more of it, do more of it, do more of it, because that's at the end of the day going to create more sales. You're creating more variations for consumers. You're creating different things for them to access, and they're going to enjoy that. All right. So guys, this is exactly what I did to get multiple sales every single day on Redbubble. If you take this in stride, if you take this and do just a fraction of it, you're going to get daily sales. But the most important part is consistency. It's not intensity. A lot of people want to do this times 10 in one day. You're not going to get anywhere doing that, right? It's kind of like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you haven't went to the gym forever, but you go to the gym and you spend 10 hours in the gym, you come home, you're going to look relatively similar. I mean, you're not going to look really different. You might be really, really tired and really sore. You're going to look the same. But imagine if you take, let's say, 100 hours and you break them up over a period of a year, or let's say half a year into the gym, and you're doing a half-hour a day or even an hour a day, whatever it might be. You're going to look dramatically different over time. So with that being said, consistency over intensity every single time. And that's going to get the results that you want. All right. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace out. Bye. Good luck.